You see the little shit going. That's a video. What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning John Fury. Big John Fury admits that Tyson Fury walked away from the Alexander Usyk fight. As you guys know, a couple days ago, I did a video on Frank Warren. And Frank Warren blamed it on Anthony Joshua, of course, because Anthony Joshua wouldn't take the step-aside money, which left him berserk, Tyson Fury berserk, as you guys can remember. Now, there's another person that has his side of the story, and it's John Fury, okay? And Fury and Usyk held talks over meeting for all 4 belts, but Fury will now take on Dillian Whyte, leaving Usyk to defend his belts against Anthony Joshua. As we know, Tyson Fury did walk away from a fight with Alexander Usyk to spite Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua. That is the view of Fury's dad, John, who has hit out at Hearn for allegedly costing his fighter a £100 million deal. Joshua had been ready to accept the $15 million to give up his right to a rematch with Usyk and allow the Ukrainian to fight fellow heavyweight champion Fury. But Fury has instead opted to face mandatory challenger Dillian Whyte, leaving Joshua to a rematch. Hearn insisted this week that Fury demanded a warm-up fight before taking on Usyk, a stance which cost him the undisputed clash. And this is the words from John. He says, "You know the best thing of it all, the deal was on the table for 5 weeks. 5 weeks. $15 million for free. $5 million for free for Dillian Whyte. And now Tyson Fury has done a U-turn and thought, fuck you lot. You're copying it," he said. Eddie Hearn, he thinks he's clever, but he's not dealt with Fury before. He's dealt with them now and wishes he'd never heard of Fury's name. He wishes the Fury name never existed. He's just blown AJ 100 million quid, and he was getting 10% of it all. He's blown himself. Sick. 20 million. We are laughing at you, my friend. You have egg on your face. You want business, Eddie? You need to stop asking your old fella for advice. Believe me, a 10-year-old boy could have put that deal together. All right. Those are the words of John Fury. And I'm not really understanding how this is working out. Like, you did that you didn't fight a guy that was undefeated, that had all 3 belts, the belts that he once owned. And you didn't fight him because of what? The deal? The deal wasn't even made yet. See, that's the problem. See, we saying, oh, well, the deal was on the table for $15 million. Well, if you have to, everything has to be in writing. That's no worse than Deontay Wilder saying that, hey, I have a $50 million offer for you through a fucking email. That's no different. Because, yeah, everybody and their mom knows about a supposed offer, but if nothing was ever sent over, how do we know what was what anyway? You know, we all know Eddie Hearn just said he didn't trust Tyson Fury to do this or to do that. So you have to have something in contract, and you know you have to have that with Tyson Fury, okay? Because he's going to fight you to the bitter end, okay? And I'll say this. If you wanted a tune-up fight, okay, this is what I want people to answer. If Tyson Fury wanted a tune-up fight, why in the fuck would he want to fight Usyk? When was he supposed to fight Usyk if he wanted a rematch or tune-up? Right? Like, I want to fight Usyk, but I want a tune-up. Then if all of a sudden I don't want to fight Usyk because of something Joshua did, but you wanted a tune-up. So what would Joshua do? Would Joshua be forced to take a tune-up because you wanted one? See, it's other negotiations to this deal that's not being said, but rightfully so. If he wanted a tune-up, and that's what Tyson Fury wanted to do. He didn't want to take on an elite opponent after taking on the dangerous Deontay Wilder. Well, why would we believe that that deal was going to happen anyway? And like I told you guys, I think that they were going to give Dillian Whyte 5 million pounds for free. I think they were going to give $15 million for Anthony Joshua for free. Okay? That would have been the deal if something like that would have taken place. They would have took that money, and because they took that money, they don't have to fight. So basically, you guys just take this money to get your ass out the way. You know, but if it was that easy, they should have sent a contract over. Because it's very difficult, people, to give away free money without having any stipulations involved on it. You know, because it's either, hey, you take this money and we don't owe you anything else. Step aside. Or, you know, you do have a lot to do with this because we're going to make a bigger deal later on. I really just don't get how that works. And this is my counterpunch on that. I think Tyson Fury would have lost to Alexander Usyk if he would have fought him, but Fury is smarter than that. Fury's not going to fight someone that he's not prepared for. That's why the tune-up was there anyway. But had he fought Alexander Usyk, he would have lost. Okay? But that goes back to your confidence. How confident are you to take fights like that? Okay? How comfortable are you? You can't be that damn comfortable if you want another tune-up after fighting Deontay Wilder. That ain't been that long ago, but then you want a tune-up. But I know his normal sway of thing, Tyson Fury. He wants a easy pick'ems, then a serious fight. So what he did was, what he did was, hey, you guys on the Usyk team won't let me fight a tune-up before fighting you because that only wastes time. Why would you fight a tune-up? Anyway, so what he did was, hey, Tyson Fury was like, okay, I'll fight Dillian Whyte. But do you also understand if that fight does not happen, I just made a video about what Eddie Hearn said, then you will know that Tyson Fury's not confident enough to take on elite fighters back to back. Probably one, which is Wilder, but I mean, the devil you know is always better than the one you don't because you know you can beat him. He knew he could beat Wilder. He had Wilder's number. He had his number since the first fight. Okay? And he would have went in there and lost to Usyk because he's not accustomed to that type of opposition. Okay? He's not accustomed to a different fighter in there. Had he been, he would be ready. He wasn't ready. That's why he asked for a tune-up. So they stuck a tune-up in there either to avoid that fight altogether because they know that Team Usyk wouldn't go for that. Neither would Joshua. Why would they, you know, why plug the schedule up with a tune-up because Tyson Fury is not ready? That would be the only reason. He wasn't ready and he needed something or someone else to fight before fighting someone or continuing to fight someone that is on that level. But again, that's what happens when you fight a guy back to back to back. You have no preparation in fighting other people. Okay, so what John Fury's saying, well, hey, you got egg on your face, you could have done this, the deal was there for weeks. Well, according to Eddie Hearn, it wasn't. They were still talking about the deal. But you guys have to understand, this is another person coming forth and saying Tyson Fury did what? Walked away. Okay? So he also admitted, well, Frank said, well, he walked away from the Joshua because he deal because he didn't like the idea of Joshua asking for more money. So what did he do in two different situations? Walked. He shut down the deal with Joshua. He left the Alexander Usyk negotiations. He walked. Okay? So it's really nothing more that you could say about Tyson Fury. He wasn't ready. He needed a tune-up. So he got the hell out of that situation. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of John Fury and his comments towards his son leaving the Usyk negotiations. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.